taking care of the child within yourself. As children, every day felt like an exciting adventure, full of joy and discovery. Simple moments, like sitting under a tree, listening to the birds sing, or playing with friends in the afternoon, brought us happiness. These moments didn't require money, achievements, or even thought of the future. Happiness was natural, born out of the simplest things in life. But as we grow older, we gradually lose our ability to feel these simple joys. Life becomes more complicated, filled with concerns, pressures from work, family, societal expectations, and our own standards. We become busy with earning money, building our careers, and pursuing success, forgetting that true happiness doesn't lie in grand achievements or distant goals. Sometimes happiness is simply found in small, everyday moments that we tend to overlook, forgetting ourselves. We, especially adults, often forget to take care of ourselves while rushing through life's challenges. The worries about work, finances, family, and so many other responsibilities leave us with little time to nurture ourselves or savor the little joys. We may spend an entire day focusing on deadlines, meetings, and errands, but neglect to pause and connect with the simple pleasures around us. This tendency to forget ourselves isn't just about physical self-care. It also involves neglecting our emotional and mental well-being. The pressures of life cause us to lose touch with the part of us that once found joy in simple things. We stop playing like we did as children. We stop seeking out those small moments of joy. And instead, we become consumed with stress and the pursuit of external validation. The lost child within. Have you ever stopped to think about the last time you truly laughed for no reason at all? When was the last time you enjoyed a sunny day without any worry clouding your thoughts? The child inside us remains, but it's often buried beneath layers of adult responsibilities and societal expectations. This child is the part of us that finds joy in the simplest things: the feeling of warm sunlight on your face, the sound of rain on the roof, or the joy of playing with a pet. As we grow older, the child within us becomes quieter, overshadowed by our constant need to plan, to succeed, to meet deadlines. But if we pause and reconnect with this part of ourselves, we can rediscover a sense of joy that doesn't depend on external achievements or future outcomes. Just like when we were children, we can find happiness in the present moment. Reconnecting with joy in the present. To reclaim happiness, we need to stop and ask ourselves, when did I stop enjoying the small things? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, but it's important to take a step back and remember what truly matters. Reconnecting with the child within means rediscovering those moments of joy that don't require anything other than our full presence. It means playing without an agenda, laughing without a reason, and finding happiness in the simplest acts. For instance, take a walk in a nearby park, feeling the breeze and listening to the sounds of nature. Or take a break to watch the sunset, appreciating the beauty in the world without needing anything more. Allow yourself to experience joy without feeling guilty or worrying about what's next. When you reconnect with the child inside you, life becomes more enjoyable and less overwhelming. You no longer need to constantly chase happiness through success, money, or possessions. Instead, you realize that happiness is not something to be found in the future, but something to be experienced right now. The power of small joys. One of the most powerful ways to reconnect with our inner child is through the small, joyful moments we often overlook. For example, enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning without checking your phone, playing a game or doing something creative for fun, or even giving yourself permission to nap. These small acts can fill our lives with unexpected happiness. Consider how you feel when you do something kind for someone else. Helping a stranger, volunteering, or simply sharing a smile can reignite that sense of joy. These moments remind us that happiness doesn't require grand gestures or complex plans. Sometimes, it's the simplest actions that can bring the most satisfaction. Taking time for yourself. In the midst of life's chaos, it's easy to forget to make time for yourself. We might feel guilty for taking a break, for not always being productive. But the truth is, Taking care of yourself is essential for your mental and emotional well-being. It's not about being lazy, it's about preserving your happiness and energy. So, ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely for the joy of it, without worrying about the consequences or the to-do list? Whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, or simply lying in bed and reflecting on your day, make time for these small joys. These moments will help you feel more grounded and less overwhelmed. Reawakening the inner child. Reconnecting with the child inside is a process of relearning how to appreciate life as it is, without the constant pressure to achieve or perform. It's about accepting that happiness doesn't have to be earned, and that we don't have to be perfect to enjoy life. If we remember to look at the world through the eyes of a child, we may find that happiness has always been here waiting for us to notice it. It doesn't require external validation or success. It simply requires us to be present, to appreciate the small moments, and to laugh without reason. Life can be overwhelming, and the demands of adulthood often drown out the childlike wonder we once had. But by taking a step back, slowing down, and reconnecting with the simple joys around us, we can rediscover the happiness that has always been within us. The key is not to chase happiness, but to allow it to unfold in the present moment. By embracing the child within, we can find joy in every day, regardless of what's happening around us. Reclaim your happiness today through small, meaningful moments and watch as your life becomes richer, more joyful, and more fulfilling. Rediscovering the innocent and joyful child within us. Happiness through the eyes of a child is simple and natural. They find joy in the smallest things, the soft patter of rain, an afternoon spent playing with friends, or the comfort of a warm hug from their mother. Children don't worry about the future, they don't carry the burden of responsibilities, nor do they agonize over decisions. To them, happiness is not a pursuit, it's a state of being that they effortlessly experience every day. As we grow older, however, this natural ability to feel happiness begins to slip away. The pressures of work, family, societal expectations, and our own self-imposed standards weigh us down. We become so consumed by the pursuit of success and security that we lose touch with the simple joys that once brought us happiness. Slowly, the childlike wonder within us fades, leaving us overwhelmed, stressed, and often dissatisfied with life. Losing the sense of happiness, a common experience. I still remember the carefree days of my childhood when happiness was as simple as running barefoot under the sun, eating a homemade treat, or listening to my mother's bedtime stories. There were no worries about money, no deadlines to meet, no relationships to navigate. Happiness was pure, untainted, and present in every little moment. But as adulthood crept in, I realized that happiness no longer came naturally to me. Adulthood brings with it a host of responsibilities and uncertainties. Every day feels like a resetto meet deadlines, to pay bills, to care for loved ones, to advance in our careers. We begin to question ourselves incessantly. Am I good enough? Am I successful enough? Am I happy enough? This endless cycle of self-doubt and comparison leaves us exhausted, disconnected from the simple joys that were once so effortless. For example, imagine a child gleefully playing in the park, completely immersed in their game. Now contrast this with an adult walking through the same park, glued to their phone, checking emails and worrying about tomorrow's meeting. The child is fully present, while the adult is lost in a whirlwind of thoughts. The difference lies not in their circumstances but in their mindset, the burdens we carry that steal our joy. As children, we didn't fear failure or the future. Every day was a new adventure filled with infinite possibilities. Yet, as adults, we find ourselves burdened with fears and doubts. We worry about whether we're making the right decisions, whether we're on the right career path, or whether we'll ever achieve our goals. These questions, though natural, often consume us, making it hard to appreciate the present. We also fall into the trap of constant comparison. Social media, workplace dynamics, and societal expectations amplify this tendency. We see others who seem to have it all: better jobs, better homes, better lives, and we wonder why we don't measure up. This relentless comparison blinds us to our own blessings, robbing us of our ability to enjoy what we already have. Take, for instance, the story of An, a young professional in Ho Chi Minh City. She works tirelessly at her corporate job, hoping to climb the ladder of success. Despite her achievements, An finds herself comparing her life to her friends' seemingly glamorous lives on social media. Instead of celebrating her own milestones, she feels inadequate. This constant cycle of envy and self-doubt drains her energy and steals her happiness. Rediscovering the child within. To find happiness again, we must reconnect with the innocent and carefree child within us. This child doesn't fret over the future, doesn't fear failure, and doesn't compare itself to others. It lives fully in the moment, finding joy in simple pleasures and small victories. One way to reconnect with this child is to slow down. Life as an adult often feels like a never-ending sprint, but we must remind ourselves that it's okay to pause. Instead of rushing through life, take time to savor the little things: the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of birds chirping outside your window, or the warmth of a heartfelt conversation with a friend. For example, Lynn, a busy entrepreneur, recently began practicing mindfulness to cope with stress. She starts her mornings with a 10-minute meditation, focusing on her breath and the sensations in her body. It's like hitting the reset button, she shares. I feel calmer and more present throughout the day. By slowing down and being present, Lynn has rediscovered a sense of peace and happiness that had long been overshadowed by her hectic schedule. Mindfulness, the key to living in the present. Mindfulness, a core concept in Buddhism, encourages us to fully engage with the present moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Practicing mindfulness allows us to appreciate the beauty and richness of life as it unfolds. For instance, when working on a task, focus entirely on it without letting your mind wander to other responsibilities. When walking, pay attention to the rhythm of your steps, the sensation of the ground beneath your feet, and the sounds around you. These small practices can help anchor you in the present and bring a sense of calm and clarity. Imagine a child eating a popsicle on a summer day, savoring every bite with sheer delight. Now picture an adult scarfing down lunch at their desk while answering emails. The child is fully immersed in the experience, while the adult is distracted and disconnected. Mindfulness helps us return to the child's way of living fully present and engaged, finding joy in simple things. Happiness doesn't have to come from grand achievements or life-changing events. It can be found in the small, simple moments of everyday life. Sharing a laugh with a loved one, enjoying a quiet evening with a book, or taking a leisurely stroll in the park. As children, we knew this instinctively, but as adults, we often overlook these moments in our pursuit of bigger happiness. For example, Hung, a teacher, has started journaling about the simple joys he experiences each day. Whether it's the smile of a student, the beauty of a sunset, or the aroma of freshly brewed tea, Hung's practice has helped him cultivate gratitude and rediscover happiness in the little things, letting go of unnecessary worries. To reconnect with our inner child, we must also learn to let go of the unnecessary burdens we carry. Much of the stress and unhappiness we experience comes from clinging to fears, expectations, and comparisons that don't serve us. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the mental and emotional weight that holds us back. Take Thao, a perfectionist who used to agonize over every detail at work. She constantly worried about making mistakes and meeting others' expectations. Over time, Thao realized that her need for perfection was robbing her of joy. By embracing imperfection and focusing on doing her best, she freed herself from the chains of self-imposed pressure and found greater peace. Living simply, a path to joy. To find happiness, we must simplify our lives and focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or responsibilities, but rather prioritizing the things that bring us genuine joy and fulfillment. Spend time with loved ones, pursue hobbies that spark your creativity, and take moments to appreciate the world around you. For instance, Dung, a graphic designer, decided to declutter her schedule and focus on quality over quantity. She reduced her workload, spent more time with her family, and rediscovered her passion for painting. "I feel lighter and more alive," she says. By simplifying her life, Dung created space for happiness to flourish. Embracing the journey back to joy. Happiness isn't a distant destination or an elusive goal, it's a state of being that we can access right here, right now. By slowing down, practicing mindfulness, and letting go of unnecessary burdens, we can reconnect with the innocent and joyful child within us. This child reminds us that life's greatest joys are often the simplest, and that true happiness lies not in chasing after more, but in appreciating what we already have. Let's take a step back from the chaos of modern life and embrace the present moment. By doing so, we'll find that happiness has always been within reach, waiting patiently for us to return.